that a Puerto Rican flag I see on your hat?
Yes.
My favorite people, man.
Thank you. Thank you. Good
Seriously, I was in San Juan and Rincon just a couple weeks ago.
Really?
Mhm.
So so I am from Rincon.
Really?
Yes.
I may be a neighbor of yours one day. I'm going to buy a condo there and surf my brains out.
That's amazing. Actually, I do live where the lighthouse, near the lighthouse.
Oh, nice. Is that where
Yeah.
you are now?
Right now, no. I got married with a beautiful woman from another town in Puerto Rico, and
Oh,
I'm right now
nice.
living in that town in Ponce.
Oh, in Ponce. I know where that is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I stayed in Rincon and then I went to the Numero Uno Beach Club in Ocean Park.
Okay. Nice.
Mhm.
Nice. Amazing. So, Jeff, that this is a great start of the conversation, Jeff, and we're going to be talking about the film Blackwater Lane. And I do gotta say, your direction of the film is phenomenal. It's been a long time since I've seen a thriller that keeps you on your toes from the start to the finish. Asking so many questions in my mind on how this what film was going to end. What inspired you to get this film to the people?
Um, Mainly the fact that I wanted to make a really scary movie that would entertain the crap out of them. I can't say it any plainer. I've said it in so many different ways, but I wanted to make a really scary, entertaining movie that you had to think about. Not just some blatant, throw it out on a plate and here's a movie. I wanted to make something that, had twists and turns and kind of brought us back to the old thrillers that we loved back in the day, and that was my goal.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I did notice and felt. It felt like those thrillers of back in the day. So I think that was one of the main keys that took me to enjoyment because these nowadays thrillers are very different, and they're not as I don't want to say enjoyable because they are enjoyable, but I think that's there's something behind these films, these classic films that were before, that brings so much life to cinema. Wanted to ask, did you get to use a lot of practical effects? Because I did notice that, especially when they're in the big mansion or house, um, there is a lot of effects that going out. And I know that not giving so many details on the film to not spoil it to the viewers, but they do explain certain things that happen. But did you use practical effects throughout the film?
I did. That was one of my main focuses. I wanted to make the movie very real and have things in it that really could have happened. And so I focused on keeping it really real. The effects, I wanted them really practical. There's some digital stuff in there to enhance things, but overall, everything you see is happening in real time. That was my goal. That was part of the challenge for me. I look, I never want to change the landscape of what's happening today and try to tell people I'm making something you're going to love because it's different than the landscape you see today. People want what they want. Today they are used to the Marvel movies. They're used to all these things. I'm not saying those things are bad, but I wanted to make a movie for everybody that I felt, even if you're into super modern digital effects or these kind of big tentpole movies, this little film you'll watch and totally be engaged the whole time and be kind of blown away at some of the stuff that we did and take away from it that this was one of the most entertaining movies I've watched. And for 2 hours of my life, I was fully engaged and I could tell my friends about it. Or I could look at my best friend and say, "What'd you think? Wow, that was a great movie." That's all I care about. Um, I just wanted to make something that people could enjoy. And I'm not saying that I reinvented the wheel. I didn't do anything super different, but I did bring back an era of movies that we kind of lost. I'm a storyteller. I'm more into story than anything, and that was a big goal for me in this movie. I wanted to make sure that this story was well told and that people would believe it. That was the most important.
I did notice that this film is based off a novel. While you were filming, I know that there is already a script and there are writers behind this script. But did you, by any chance, had the novel with you, like that you can reenact maybe scenes from the novel a little bit much more detailed or precise?
Well, no, I just kind of read the novel and took it inside and put it in my back pocket. I didn't want to sit there and copy the book, but I wanted to give the fans of the book the same experience they had when they read the book. So I read a lot of reviews on uh, many books that have been written and made into movies, and the audience gets really upset when you change it so much that it's nothing like the film. I mean, one of the biggest changes from the book to the movie is that we um, changed the lead characters to being from America. The original, they're British, but it worked better, I think. And if you can enhance a movie and make it better than the book, and the audience will go with it, or the book fans will go with it, that was my goal.
Okay. And were there any challenges while filming? You do have a lot of settings that are basically in rain, and there's a lot of being the fact on how, for what, at least for what you see in the film, how old is the house. At least is the perception that I took. Were there any challenges while filming? Because on old houses, if they're not modernized, they're kind of difficult to film.
Well, yeah, there were some challenges. I've been asked this question before, and I'm going to answer it differently right now. The challenges were time. I've brought that up before, but in this case, the car chase in the movie and the rain sequence in the movie that you see on the road in the beginning were all done the same night. So to have rain machines and actors soaking wet and cars and mud and wild animals, and then you have to go leave that location, go to another location in the middle of the night and shoot a car chase in one day, that was a challenge. That was almost impossible, but we pulled it off. I felt we pulled it off very effectively. So yeah, that was big. The house itself wasn't really a challenge because it was such a great house to shoot in, and it was more modernized inside, so everything worked.
Okay, that's amazing. And Jeff, if how was it working with the cast? Because you have a lot of well-renowned actors and actresses in this film. How was it working with them? Was there good chemistry with them? Did they get to
Yeah.
do uh because I've heard from other actors that while filming they sometimes add like a little bit much more to the character, like that it can like make the scene a little bit more vivid. How was it working with them?
I'm pretty open about actors changing stuff, but in this case, they didn't change much. I mean, they really felt the script worked and they liked what they were doing. The cast loved each other. They got along like they had amazing chemistry. Chemistry is everything in a movie to me. Sometimes I feel like we cast these big stars and they never meet. We never put them together, and then you put them together, it just doesn't work. Who knows why? It's like the stars didn't align, I guess, and no pun, well, pun intended. So in this case, they got along really well. They sometimes were like, Minka was pretty hesitant about a certain scene, like, oh my God, I have to really go there and put myself in that place. And then she did it. And we were all like standing back, like in awe. And like it was hard to watch because she really looked like she was going through a mental breakdown when she was acting. And then, of course, right after the scene was over, she took a while to come down from it, and all the actors embraced her and were always super supportive of everybody.
That's amazing.
I
And
wish I could give you some more drama, but there wasn't a lot.
no, no. The reason why I asked is because there's a story always behind every set. So that's the reason why I normally ask the question, just to see how that chemistry is between the actor and the director. Um, and Jeff, this would be my final question for you today. If you could describe Blackwater Lane with one word, what would it be?
Terrifying.
Terrifying? Okay, yeah, I do see it because yeah, when you reach to that final act, you get really terrified from the
Yeah,
second to the third act. So
that would be
Jeff,
my yeah,
uh-huh.
that would be my description right now.
No, no, I completely agree with you. So Jeff, thank you very much for giving us the time. to talk about Blackwater Lane. And I
Thank
hope
you,
that
man.
next time you come to Puerto Rico, we can jump into each other and talk in person.
Be great, man.
Thank you
I'll
very
look you
much.
up. I'll look you
Yeah.
up.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure thing. Bye bye.